Assalamu alaikum. The paper for this week is presented by Ioannidis, who is a prominent researcher and professor in the fields of epidemiology, evidence-based medicine, and clinical research. He is well known for his critical analysis of scientific research practices and his influential essay, Why Most Published Research Findings Are False. The objective is to examine the reasons why many research findings are subsequently refuted and to explore the factors that influence the prevalence of false research claiming. He argued that significant portion of published research findings are false due to low statistical power, bias, number and pre-selection of tested relationships, and the pressures for positive results. Basically, the essay aimed to provide a framework for understanding the issue and discuss the potential solutions to improve the reliability of scientific research. He did a thought experiment, and the study includes several corollaries that stem from the underlying framework he establishes. So the first corollary: the smaller the studies conducted in a scientific field, the less likely the research findings are to be true. Here, when we have smaller studies, usually tend to have less statistical power, meaning they are less likely to detect the true effect. This increases the probability that findings are due to chance rather than a real effect. So larger studies like randomized control trial are more reliable. The second corollary is the smaller the effect size in scientific fields, the less likely the research findings are to be true. The explanation for this corollary is the smaller effect size are harder to detect and verify, leading to lower statistical power and increased likelihood of false positive. So fields with large effect size, such as the impact of smoking on health, tend to produce more reliable results. Next is the greater the number and the lesser the selection of tested relationships in a scientific field, the less likely the research findings are to be true. So when many hypotheses are tested without stringent selection, the chances of false positive increase. Confirmatory study with fewer well-chosen hypotheses tend to yield more reliable results compared to exploratory studies with many hypotheses. The fourth corollary that he mentioned in his essay: the greater the flexibility in design, definition, outcome, and analytical modes in a scientific field, the less likely the research findings are to be true. So flexibility allows for manipulation and bias, increasing the chances of false positive. Therefore, standardized methods and definition, such as those used in rigorous clinical trial, reduce bias and improve the reliability of the findings. The fifth corollary is the greater the financial and other interest in a scientific field, the less likely the research findings are to be true. So conflict of interest and biases, whether financial or ideological, can skew the results. This bias reduces the likelihood that findings are true. Non-financial bias, such as professional incentives, can also distort the research outcome. The last corollary that he mentioned is the hotter a scientific field, the less likely the research findings are to be true. Here, in highly competitive fields, the rush to publish can lead to prioritization of significant results, regardless of their validity. This can result in a higher incidence of false positive as teams to publish first. So, in his essay, he highlighted these corollaries and how various factors such as the study size, effect size, hypothesis testing, flexibility, bias, and competition can influence the reliability of the research findings. Thank you.